Welcome back to this episode of Mom and Pop Video Shop, and specifically this series of movie rental recommendation.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with
that. So I'm back, and this time I'm changing it up a little bit. I wouldn't exactly call this pick a horror film. So Joel, if you wouldn't mind.
Yes. Unlike me, you're going to actually branch outside the beloved genre.
Yeah, but this is pretty close.
That's good.
I think we could call this murder thriller, psychological thriller, dark comedy.
Yeah.
Sort of in the same vein as it even says it on the box, in the same vein as Pulp Fiction. This is a 1994 flick. It is Danny Boyle's directorial debut, and it is Shallow Grave. Starring one Ewan McGregor and who else? Sorry,
Christopher Eccleston.
Carrie Fox.
Sure. Those are the only two names I recognize for the main two guys.
Yeah. At any rate, you're probably asking yourself, if you've never seen Shallow Grave, what in the hell is Shallow Grave about? So I will read the back of the VHS box, and then we will wax briefly on this particular film. So it starts with an ad in the newspaper and almost ends in murder. When David, Alex, and Juliet find their new roommate dead on the bed with a fortune in a suitcase stuffed under it, they have no trouble deciding how to dispose of the cash. But when it comes to disposing of the body, all of them have to help. Only one of them has to do it. David pulls the short straw, but faced with the responsibility of cutting up a corpse, the man who was their friend becomes a monster. Yet David's descent into madness is nowhere near as threatening as the men who come looking for the money, or the violent lengths they'll go to get it back. So I first saw this, I know I was in high school. My buddy Jake loaned this to me to watch. I've never heard of it. Obviously didn't know who Danny Boyle was. Yep. I had seen Pulp Fiction by then, I think. So I kind of got the idea of dark crime thriller with a little bit of humor thrown in. Yeah. This hits all of those beats, but in a very British way.
Yes.
I guess I must say.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier about films that take place sort of in one location. And while this does have some scenes in various locations, primarily it takes place in a flat in I think it's London.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in England. I want to say this is London.
That tracks, actually.
Yeah, exactly. This is another one of those films that I think would make a fantastic stage play. You would have to change stuff, but I would love to see this adapted for the stage. That's that kind of movie. But it's, in a nutshell, I read the synopsis, but these guys get a new roommate. He's kind of a weirdo. He comes in. I don't want to spoil too much here, but he ends up dead in his bedroom. They go in like, what the hell, there's a dead guy, but then they also find a suitcase full of money, and then they decide.
Kind of reminds me of A Simple Plan. You ever see that Sam Raimi
movie? Yeah. A Simple Plan with
with Bill Paxton
and
Bridget Fonda,
Billy Bob Thornton.
Okay.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, similar, I suppose. It's got one of those endings though that you got to stick around for like the very last shot because it's one of my favorites.
Can you imagine the person that gets up? It's like the movie isn't hit, like the credits haven't hit yet, but they don't make it to the last shot of the movie.
Yeah, and they get up and walk out.
But they liked it. They're like, "Oh, I loved it. I just didn't stay for the last shot."
Yeah, totally. Totally worth sticking around to the very end when the credits roll.
Okay,
it's brilliant. But yeah, this is one that I had watched again when I was a kid. Forgot about it for like 20 freaking years, and then for whatever reason was watching something or probably talking to you about something. I was like, "What the hell was the name of that movie?" Remembered it. Couldn't find it streaming anywhere, and obviously managed to track down a copy on VHS,
which I will need to do as well because spoiler alert: I've never seen it.
You've never seen Shallow Grave?
No.
You need to.
Yep, never seen it. I've seen other Danny Boyle movies. I've never seen that one.
Yep.
And I remember when it came out. Just never got to it.
I think you'll dig it.
I think I would too.
Yeah.
Yep.
It just has that 90s
early 90s
crime,
indie
vibe. Yeah.
Yep.
So, my pick, 1994,
good pick.
Shallow Grave.
Rating,
I would give Shallow Grave
3 tapes as you keep it through the weekend, normal rental. 4 weeks as you keep it long enough to pay the late fee.
I would do a 4 taper with this because this is one of those movies that I would watch and then want to, like my buddy Jake, I would want to share this with friends, so I would hang on to it for probably more than the 48-hour rental. So,
but you wouldn't be willing to pay the $80 fee if you lost it.
Not for another 25 years when I became an adult and then wanted to track it down.
Got it. Fair enough.
Then I would probably
and then you paid like $8 or whatever you paid.
Yeah, probably $8. So
cool.
Shallow Grave, 1994 is my pick.
Nice.
Oh, let us know in the comments below if you've seen Shallow Grave.
Yeah.
I'm betting on this. This might be one of those that maybe not a lot of people have heard of. So if you have, let us know. If there's anything else along these lines, these crime thriller, British humor, I feel like there's got to be a ton of stuff out there we've never heard of. let us know that in the comments as well. So in the meantime, remember, at Mom and Pops, our love of,
28 days later, duh.
of course, never stops.